Alright, if you were ever confused about time travel in movies, well, this one's gonna make everybody confused. Nobody's theories are safe after this one. What up, party people? Bobo here from BrassReel Brothers. So I just got back from seeing Tenet. Directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Isaiah Washington, Robert Pattinson, and Kenneth Branagh. It's about a guy who's a CIA agent trying to put the pieces together for something that he's seen that has happened but hasn't happened, that he's trying to change so he can stop someone from ending the world. It was good. It was just interesting. Still trying to wrap my brain around it. You know how, like, at the end of Sixth Sense, you were like, you had this huge feeling of, like, reckoning, and it was just like, oh. I definitely think I need to rewatch this movie so I can catch all kinds of things and pay attention to things, because it's one of those films. I mean, even to the point of the title, Tenet. T-E-N-E-T. It's a whole backwards forwards thing. And don't worry about me spoiling anything. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, so you can go ahead and watch this video and hit the subscribe button and like button too. So I'm a huge Nolan fan. I love Christopher Nolan, especially the Dark Knight trilogy. But at Dunkirk, he started to kind of lose me. Interstellar, I was still blown away. Inception, blown away. The Prestige, love it. Memento, fantastic. Insomnia, awesome. But Dunkirk, it was the first one that he had done that I was just kind of, I'm okay on. I don't really care to watch this again. Immediately, I want to watch this movie again. But other Christopher Nolan films like The Prestige, the Batman trilogy, Insomnia, Inception, and Interstellar, all of those, when I walked out of the theater, I was just like, damn, that was awesome. This movie was definitely good, but it was confusing, but it was also really good. And there were some moments that were just some aha, like, oh, that's badass, I get that. I felt like it was a little snooty. It was a little prestigious in a way. By the end of it, you're really into it, and I really liked everything that starts to come around with the film, and you're like, okay, I see kind of what's going on here. But I have to be honest, by the end of it, it still was kind of like, I guess I get it. There's lots of digging to be done with this film, and I don't think digging in an aggravating way. You can sort of go down the rabbit hole with this movie because it is sort of this time back and forth thing. You see that in the trailers, so that's not spoiling anything. You see things in the trailers moving backwards. Honestly, there was multiple times where I was kind of like, this reminds me of Memento in a sense. But I'll let you watch it and you can decide for yourself on what you think. Again, not a bad movie. Good movie. Awesome movie? I don't know. It definitely has some moments that I was just kind of like, I don't really buy the acting right now. And that was in the very beginning. Towards the end, you definitely are in it and you're into the acting. But even though at a 2.5 hour film, I kind of feel like it could have been longer, only because I wanted more character setup. They really just throw you in the middle of a situation without really giving you any character development. And they try to give some exposition throughout the film and over time, but for the most part, there's no real backstory with these characters. People are just thrown into the mix, including our lead actor, Isaiah Washington, which he does a good enough job, but again, I have to be honest, he didn't blow me away. And I love Robert Pattinson normally. He didn't blow me away in this. So I don't know. The movie, I do need to watch it again because it's very, very intense as far as the content and what's going on. It's a thinker. No question, it's a thinker. But I have to say, like I said, walking out of the theater, that first impression that I got walking out didn't feel like I felt on the other Nolan films, except for Dunkirk. I did like this better than Dunkirk, though. You want to rewatch this movie because you want to sort of put the pieces together and figure things out again. So, since you know the ending now after watching it one time, you want to rewatch it to, cover all those tracks. And it is designed for that. It is, I guarantee you, Christopher Nolan wants you to watch this movie multiple times. But, that's kind of how Inception was. Interstellar wasn't so much like that for me. For whatever it is, and I promise I'm not trying to sound like cocky or anything, I understood Interstellar. I got it. Everything about that I grabbed. This one, I grabbed the concept enough, but I can't tell you that I grabbed it fully enough to where when I was walking out, I was like, all right, that was just badass. I see what they did there. But this is just first impression. Overall, it was a good movie. Was it worth all the hype that it got behind it? Not so sure. However, some of that hype was due to COVID and it being pushed back and people talking about this being the first big blockbuster release since COVID. I'll have to rewatch it again, but walking out of it immediately, I kind of have to say it's a B-. It's not my favorite Nolan film. I'd say out of all of his films, it's my second least favorite, Dunkirk being my least favorite. But we'll let you guys decide for yourself and see what you think of it. Overall, it was nice to go see the movie. And the opening scene, Pretty badass. They really do some cool stuff. And there are some other cool segments and moments and sequences that happen throughout the film that are pretty like, damn, that was cool. How did they do that? And the music is really good in it. It definitely plays its own character in the film. It really backs up a lot of scenes and moments that are, you know, it lends a lot of gravity to things that are happening right then and there. It was done by a guy named Ludwig Göransson. Hans Zimmer usually does the music for Christopher Nolan's films, but couldn't do it this time because he was contracted to Dune, which they showed the trailer for on this, and that looks badass. But this guy, honestly, was a Hans Zimmer wannabe. He was trying to sound like Hans Zimmer. I don't know for a fact, but I would put money on it that Christopher Nolan was like, could you try and sound like Hans? But overall, did walk out of it blown away. I mean, it's good. It looked a little better in the packaging though. Well guys, thank you so much. That was just a little quick review on Tenet. I thought I'd do it while the iron was hot. And remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you dig what we're doing here. Look for us on Facebook, BrassReel Brothers. Look for me on Facebook, BrassReel Bobby. You can find me on Twitter, BrassReel Bobby at BrassReel. And remember, life gives you lemons, make some hot fresh popcorn.